Cheecher.
All right, sick. All right, we're officially recording, so
What's
now
up?
you can say whatever, dude.
What's up?
Dude, we caused quite the stir on TikTok, huh? That
Yeah,
was crazy.
people were not happy. Like, it was the weirdest thing people were arguing about.
Yeah, a topic that I don't think either of us are quite passionate about at all.
Did you? Okay,
That was a random conversation we were having.
totally
like,
random conversation. Did you Google
we didn't
it?
dedicate more time. No, I didn't give a shit about it.
I didn't either.
I did not dedicate more than whatever amount of time we took to have that conversation. That's all I dedicated to trying to figure out what the answer was.
I still to this day don't know what a first generation immigrant is. I'm assuming I'm
so,
right.
So I think that I said a first generation immigrant. That's not really a term, right?
I don't think that's
so.
a term,
I said
no.
first generation immigrant. So what I was implying was, that's somebody who moves here, and then their kids are second generation Canadians.
No, they would be first
So
generation.
that's what I'm saying. So then your
Canadians,
answer was the first generation is people who were born here.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the parents are just always immigrants. But then when they
Yeah.
become Canadians, what do you call them? Just Canadians.
Canada,
They're just
man.
Canadian citizens.
Yeah.
But they're not generational. They're just they're the ones who immigrated here.
Yeah. Yeah, so like my mom became a Canadian citizen. She's just
That's what I'm saying. That's where like there was like a
Canadian.
whereas I always thought that the parents got the label if
Yeah.
they came here, and then their
No.
kids were the second.
yeah.
But I mean, again, I didn't even Google it. Who knows? People were saying on Google that we were wrong, and people were saying on Google that we were right. And people pinned us against each other. And I don't even. If you look at the first 2 seconds before, that wasn't even an argument. I was asking you, do you know what it means? And you were pretty much like, I don't fucking know either. I mean, no, actually, you were pretty confident about your answer.
I'm always confident about
Yeah.
the answers I give, but
Yeah.
no one should confidently agree with the answers I give.
yeah. That was funny. That
That's
was a
insane.
good time.
Yeah. Anyways, we flipped TikTok upside down for a little bit.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Dude, 16,000 views. That was sick. That was so unexpected.
I don't think I've even seen 16,000 people in my life.
Yeah. 16,000 people wanted to know what we were saying about that topic. Dude,
Yeah.
just wait until they see what you have to say about Kendrick Lamar. That's crazy. No, but man, that was
Good kid, Mad City. Let's go, baby. We're back.
Hell yeah.
Chocolate Cowboys, boys.
Chocolate
Let's
Cowboys.
go.
It's a Chocolate Cowboys podcast where the good times always last. So grab your white monster and watch them ponder. It's a Chocolate Cowboys podcast. A couple of buddies who think they're funny. Are they brothers or do they have feelings for each other? It's a Chocolate Cowboys podcast.
We have quite a few things to kind of get into, but last time we were talking about like, do we have what do we call our viewers? Have you thought of anything?
No, not at all. I haven't
Okay.
thought about it a single time.
Yeah, neither have I.
Leave it in the comments. What do you want to
Yeah.
be called? By the
What do I
people, by the
call?
world. Chocolate cows. Probably
Yeah.
not.
Should we call our listeners the root beer babies?
Yeah, we're not going to do this right now. We're not going to find the
Okay,
inspiration.
my bad.
Unless it comes from above, but
Do you know who used to call their listeners babies?
who?
Crystalia.
Well, that's very fitting.
And
That did not turn out well for him.
yeah.
Well, technically, didn't he just wait a super
Nah,
long
dude,
time?
That's bad too.
That's bad too?
No, because he did because he didn't wait a super long time either. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't like the person, was like in their like 30s and I was like, okay, now it's like whatever.
Oh, he was waiting for the
But
candles to blow out?
even if you knew them when they were a kid and you waited till they were 30, I feel like that's still creepy as fuck. Because
Yeah,
the
I guess
attraction
so.
started when they were underage.
Oh,
So
don't do that.
that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? That's what he was doing. He was messaging girls that were like 15, 16 years old, just like talking to them, whatever. And then when they turned 18, he was like, oh, now we can legally have relations. That's grooming.
That's grooming, the
Yeah.
definition?
That's my understanding of it. So that's what he did.
I think we should change the term to baking. Because you put it in the oven and you you wait until it's ready, right?
But that's a really like fun definition, and it's a pretty fucked up thing. So like,
Yeah,
you
so
can't
now
make
we're
it.
disparaging a whole occupation that keeps dogs clean. Why are we doing that? Like,
That's true. What? So how do they relate the term grooming to it? Like, what are you doing? You're
Okay, well, did he message them while they were underage?
yes.
Okay, well, so I mean, he is kind of like getting them ready. He's like straightening their hair. He's like, clipping it.
All right. Okay, I get it.
You know what I'm saying?
Jesus Christ.
Does Ayla go to the groomers?
No.
She doesn't go to the groomers?
No, she would.
Specifically because of Crystalia or because of...
No, she just would eat them. Yeah, no, I have to cut her nails. I have to give her a bath. So
You have a great joke about your dog and eating people. And I don't know. I hope we can see that online sometime soon.
yeah, I have to kind of work it out. It depends on the crowd. So we went to an open mic actually on Tuesday. How did you feel about that experience? Because I got some things to say about it, but I want to hear. What
Dude,
you.
my shit was so bad. My set was so. That was the first time. I don't know why I'm like caveating this with that, but like it was the first time I went up on stage.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna crush it. I was a little bit nervous, and like
Yeah.
the crowd was a little bit weird. Not weird as in like the crowd was weird, but like I feel like the crowd wasn't like ready to like take the jokes. I don't think I was the worst person up there, which is good. But my shit was bad. It felt
So
safe.
this is what I have to say about the crowd is essentially, and so I talked to somebody afterwards who is a local comic, and he goes up quite often, and he said there's like a very like high competitive energy at open mics in Vancouver, and it's unreasonable because they don't really understand like how like they don't really have like a good grasp of any sort of growth model. It's very just like self-centered. So a lot of people are just going up and they're bringing their friends, and their friends are not laughing at anybody else's jokes. They're there to boost the way they look and appear as a comedian and how funny they seem to be, and that's it. And then so it's like we went up in front of just a bunch of other comics that were competing with us. So they didn't want to laugh because it's like, I don't want this person to be funnier than me. But you see the disparity between them and the professional comics, because we went to an open mic, shout out to Joke City Live on the Drive in Vancouver every Tuesday. They have a really cool kind of almost Kill Tony style where they have a panel of working comics.
Yeah.
And those people, I feel like those comics were laughing at the jokes because they were there to understand how you're working out the joke and give you feedback.
Totally.
So they can understand like, oh, here's the premise, here's the angle he's trying to work, and then they're laughing because they understand the direction that you're taking it.
Yeah.
And those other comics that are there at the open mic, all they're thinking about is, I don't want this guy to be funnier than me. I'm not going to laugh. I'm going to make sure that I don't laugh because I don't want to laugh. Like, why? You and I laughed at fucking everything.
Yeah.
And it's funny. So the guy I talked to, shout out to Will Fitzpatrick.
Oh.
He shoots. So he posts comedy analysis videos on YouTube. So he actually posted ours today.
No way.
Yeah, and he talks about how like you and I are the only ones who laughed during his set because he's working out material.
Yeah.
Because he's already a working comic, and so he's not going up there with his best set. He's trying to like see what jokes work and what angles to take and stuff. So he was saying like you and I were the only ones laughing because we go into these situations without like a competitive energy or like we don't really have a desire to shut people down. So we're going, oh, I get what he's trying to do. It's funny. And it's like, because a lot of most people are funny. Most people can kind of understand the basic, setup and punchline or whatever. And maybe I'm wrong, right? And so that was like a really kind of awkward place. But and that's not to say the guys do a bad job. That's a sick event.
It's great.
And we'll definitely be back. But the difference between that and the one I went to in Abbotsford. So I've only done 3 open mics. That was my third time. And so the one I went to in Abbotsford called Last Laughs, they separate the comedians and the guests. So that place is packed, and it's not like it's just other comics. There's way more comics. There was like 30, but they are in a different room. And when you go up, you're only doing your set in front of people who came to see comedy.
Yeah.
So they're a very forgiving crowd. There are people there that want to laugh. They're not people that are competing with you. So then you see the difference of how your jokes land. And so then it creates this like, I don't know if my set's good or bad. So on one side, I have a very forgiving crowd, great people. They all have a sense of humor just because of the comedian, wherever you're at.
Yeah.
The other side, I have this like all these people that are competing with me. So it's like, is my joke landing? Is it not landing?
Yeah. No, that's interesting. Shout out Alex Suarez. I think that's his last name. Alex Suarez,
he was there.
Severez, or something like that.
Yeah.
Cool guy. Really awesome. Like Last Laugh I don't know what. It's not just an open mic, right? It's like a.
Yeah, so like working comics go up in between. Like Alex Varez, he did a set that night. He crushed it, obviously.
Yeah.
And so that was really cool to see. But like, yeah, the comics there too, like those people also were super encouraging. Even the ones that were going up and doing just like open mic sets, like not people, or I mean, I don't know, all of those people were more experienced than me. Mm-hmm. But when I got off, I was getting fist bumps like from the comics and stuff like that. And you know,
well, your shit's tight, dude. Your set's
appreciate
good.
it. But like, you know, it's just like I feel like everyone thrives more in that atmosphere because you don't have people that are getting shut down when they go up and then they don't come back.
Yeah.
And then you have all these, you know, guests that are there to see comedy, and then you have all these people that feel like they can go back up, going up and then making their material better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like that, I really like that environment. If I was to run an open mic, I would run an open mic just the same way.
Yeah.
You know?
No, he was but I kind of like the I do like the competitiveness a little bit.
Yeah.
Cuz like maybe they're like trying not to laugh, but when you say something fucking funny, like
and then they break down,
dude, you cannot be like denied, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of like that a little bit.
I guess so it pushes you.
Because it definitely does push you in the right direction. Yeah, the guys on the panel were super funny. They were really awesome. That one guy, some lady, I don't know.
Akeem. Shout out to Akeem. That was so funny.
Dude, Chicky's set was actually really good. I laughed really hard.
Thank you.
And then this one lady, he was like, all right, well, I'm going to...
So because it's, you have like a 4-minute set, and when you have a minute left, they like play an instrument.
Oh yeah.
And so I guess I didn't realize that she had said this, but when the instrument played that indicated I had a minute left, the woman said, "Thank God."
Yeah, and then immediately this guy like locks in. He's like, "Yo, lady, don't fucking say that shit again, dude."
Yeah, so
don't fucking say that shit
he didn't say it
again.
right away, but like after like I got off, and he was just like giving me some feedback. He's like, you know, he said number one. He said one thing good, number two, another thing good, and then he's like, and number three, you lady, when somebody has a minute left and you say thank God, don't ever do that fucking shit again. Yeah. And then when you went up, you know, you were about to start your set, and then she like started arguing with him, like saying, "Oh, you're a liar," or whatever. He's like, "I'm not lying." He's like, "I'm not lying, you goofy bitch." and then she started arguing with him, and he's like, "Shut up, you goofy bitch. That's all I know. All I know is the truth, and the truth is you're a goofy bitch. Now shut up." I was like, "Oh God, dude."
Goofy bitch is a fucking line.
That was crazy. First of all, I was like, my hero. You know what I mean? Like, I
suck that guy's dick.
Yeah, I've never had like strong feelings for another man before. But like, I was like, you know what I mean? We gotta bring back the whole damsel in distress like
this
superhero
guy protected
thing.
Your
I
honor.
wanted him to go like and just like hold me. And, like I was like, you know what I mean? Like that was crazy. No, that guy's awesome. Shout out to Akiva. Shout out to Ravi. That guy's so funny. He's like yeah, dude. It felt like I was like my big brother. You know,
dude,
he's like
totally. He's like our Indian big bro,
whitewashed brown guy like us. And
when we say big, we mean big. He was a large man.
He's got jokes, so he's coming out for that
totally.
one, dude.
He's funny.
I'm gonna send it to him.
No, he's funny as fuck, dude.
That was pretty cool. Ravi and Akeem actually followed me back on Instagram.
Oh no way!
Yeah,
that's awesome.
When I followed them and stuff, and I sent Ravi a message just saying thank you and stuff like that. I was a little shy actually to message Akeem, which I feel like makes me more gay.
Yeah,
I was a little like I don't know what to say. Like I wrote a message and then deleted it. Like I was like I don't know.
This guy's sitting on the bed, kicking his feet in the air. Shows his fiance. Should I send it?
Yeah, man. But
you fruitcake, you.
I really love men. No. No, I really love doing comedy. Like I you know, obviously like I don't have jokes yet. I just have ideas.
Yeah.
And yeah, but it's like it's a really fun experience, and
totally
the satisfaction, man. Like when people, like a room of people, like at least half a room, or you know, a quarter of a room of people laugh at your jokes. Yeah, or just you're laughing at my jokes. It's like I don't know. It's like a real satisfying feeling, dude.
Why do you think we like? Because I'd say we were like pretty funny growing up. Why do you think like we moved to like try to be funny? Like, why do you think that was the thing we tried to make people do? Is like laugh?
I don't know. I think that. I think you alluded to it before. It's like we didn't really, neither of us are like conventionally attractive. I feel like you're about to argue that point against me and say that you are conventionally attractive.
I'll let the people decide.
Yeah. No, you're a handsome dude. But I feel like I don't know. I feel like growing up, eventually we got to this point where we're like, okay, well, we're not what most people would choose as their first employee. You know what I mean? Like we're not. I don't know a better way of word it, but they.
They wouldn't let us through TSA quickly, is what you're trying to say.
Dude, I've actually got my hands swabbed at the airport. So they pulled me aside.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, cool, randomly selected, whatever, nothing new. You know what I mean?
What airport is this? Can we shout out the airport?
No.
Oh.
Okay. And then
it's local. Okay.
No. It's not. So so they pulled me aside and they're like, "Here, we gotta swab your hands." And I'm like, "Okay." And then like they like swab my hands and they do it. I'm like waiting for like a little while and they're like, "All right, you're good." And then they didn't explain to me why or anything like that, which I guess they don't have to. And then I Googled it after and it's definitely related to terrorism.
Are you sure it's terrorism, or did they think you were just like cooking stuff without being properly like sanitary?
Right. Or they're checking like, okay, this guy's got like he's like trying to sneak some food across the border on his hands and he's just going to scrape it off. Seasoning.
Yeah, exactly.
No, fuck no. Do you think it's for bomb residue? That's what they were fucking.
Do you think they thought you were like making like lemonade really quickly on the street in India and like not washing your hands properly? Did they think they were doing that?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't flying from India, so why would they assume that, It was a more Canada to America situation.
Oh.
Yeah. But it's all good, man. It's fine, dude. I didn't have any bomb residue on my hands. And,
not this time.
Maybe I shouldn't release this clip. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't like traveling anyways. Who needs it? It's fine. My dog is...
Yeah, your dog is going to eat the whole set, bro.
Yeah, she's just freaking knocking things over left and right. It's okay. She's adorable. But yeah, man, I like doing comedy. That shit is fun. That was a good time. I definitely want to try again. Mm-hmm. Do you have anything that you're working on right now? Should we test out a little bit of material? I feel like some of the stuff I have
definitely not right now, but I did come up with a few different premises that I really want to work through. Nice. I think I have like a pretty good bit in like making fun of like liberal women that I think I want to try in Vancouver. And then I have a bit about making fun of conservative men that I want to try in Abbotsford. Like going into the hometown, dude.
Yeah, know your audience.
We're playing away games.
I don't know, man. I almost don't want to go back to Vancouver to do an open mic.
Why?
And I'm not even like, I don't even feel like my jokes are super like edgy or like super like you know what I mean? But I don't know. I get this impression that people don't want to laugh. They just want to like point out something that they're going to be upset about. And this isn't like I don't have a very radical right wing opinion on this topic either. I don't think people are that sensitive, but I feel like in these areas, like at least at these events, it felt that way. Mm-hmm. Like that one lady who heckled me, and it's like I've done open mics 3 times. My 3rd time I got heckled, and this woman calls me sexist. And my joke wasn't even sexist. Yeah, like so afterwards when she was leaving, because she was all upset, like she was like,
the old lady?
Yeah, she was like, oh, like your jokes are sexist and stuff like that.
But she also looks like she would use the N-word really liberally.
Yeah, she was also definitely like on drugs or whatever. But like, I don't know. I was just like, it's like you're there and you're like wanting to find a reason to be upset about something. Yeah. And maybe it was because, so she was the mother of one of the other guys who went up, and I don't want to judge the guy because he was trying to work out material too, but like he didn't do that well. So maybe she was trying to like point out that other people were also bad or something, maybe like more intentionally.
Maybe.
But that was just like kind of weird environment. Like, I don't know. I want to be able to tell jokes to people who want to hear jokes. I don't want to tell jokes to people who, want to point out something that's going to upset them or something like that. I don't know. I just kind of got that impression or that vibe from it.
No, that's fair. But I mean, no, I'd be interested going back to, Park Drive. That was fun.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. I think there's a lot of other material that we could definitely try out there.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, you got to be funny everywhere, right?
Yeah.
You can't just be funny in conservative areas. You can't just be funny in liberal areas. You got to be funny everywhere.
That was fun. I feel like that's my new hobby. The next thing is to try and get back in the gym. The next thing is back in jiu-jitsu. Yep. It's a big thing. It's so fucking tough. Have you been going back to the gym? You message me about it every few weeks. You're like, how much you pay for your gym membership?
Yeah, I'm thinking if we go to the gym together, then we'll be like motivated. But it sounds like you're pretty motivated to do that stuff yourself. So that's good.
I don't know. It's tough, man. It's do it for a couple weeks, and then I don't do it for a couple weeks, and I do it.
Doing a lot of big back activities.
Yeah, and then
What's
like
your favorite big back activity?
Oh, fried chicken, dude.
Fried chicken?
Yeah, so
Let's fucking go, dude.
yeah, dude. 4-piece
Yeah.
with corn and mashed potatoes
Oh my
and
god.
fries.
Oh my god.
So my biggest thing is I dip the fries in the hot sauce, and then I dip the fries and hot sauce in the gravy, and then I dip the fries, hot sauce, and gravy into the mashed potatoes.
Dude, you got my mouth watering, bro.
Yeah, it's actually disgusting. Why am I like this?
Dude, that's insane.
I haven't had
but
that.
Where from?
No, but for real, I have not had that in months.
Yeah?
Like, I
Good.
have not had that in months.
Good,
But
good.
I just, if you were to ask me, like, what would I do if you told me today, like, I get one day to just eat like shit, I'm doing the 4-piece with all the sides.
Yeah, where from?
It depends, like, wherever I can get those sides from. My favorite fried chicken, like, fast food fried chicken is, like, Church's.
Okay.
But
yeah. Those are solid
those
stuff.
sides are all at High Five. So I usually go High Five for all
Yeah.
those sides.
High five. What is your favorite chicken?
Church's.
Churches? You don't like Popeyes?
No, I feel like I go Church's number 1, High Five number 2, and then Popeyes number 3.
Number 3. Fall down
Yeah.
to 3?
KFC's not even on the list.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
KFC, I don't know what happened. They must have changed their secret recipe. Or Colonel Sanders. I don't
There's
know.
too much competition, man. Everyone just got better at it.
Yeah.
I also don't like Mary Brown's.
No, Mary Brown's can go suck a dick.
Yeah, Mary Brown's and KFC not even on the list. I would just say those 3.
Yeah.
Am I forgetting one?
I don't think so. No. Like
Yeah.
that is a solid pick. I'd say I'd go Church's number 1 as well. Like
Yeah.
quality of chicken, great.
Oh, yeah.
Crispiness
Their
of
spicy
the
chicken.
Ooh.
Dude, should we get some Church's? Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
And then Popeyes number 2.
Oh, okay.
I don't like I like High Five's crisp, but the flavor just isn't there.
Yeah, so for me, it's actually kind of boils down to the competitiveness goes between the hot sauces after. So I feel like chicken quality, Church's is the best.
Yeah.
And then Popeyes and High Five for me is a little bit comparable.
Mm.
And then I don't feel like Popeyes is a good hot sauce. The High Five hot sauce is fire because
I'm like
it's kind of Indian.
oh wow, okay. I'm lost for words because the fact you said High Five and Popeyes are comparable. That's insane because the flavor in Popeyes is.
I like the
best.
High Five spicy chicken more than the Popeye spicy chicken.
Yeah, you're wrong for that.
All
Do you
right.
do spicy chicken every time you go?
Yeah, I've never had plain chicken. Yeah.
I like plain chicken. I like spicy chicken too, but if I want to like have a nice night in to myself, I light a few candles, some chicken.
Do you take baths?
No,
You never do baths? I did baths for a little while.
did you really?
Yeah, like I got into the bath bombs thing for a little while. I was like, yo, I'm gonna hop in the bath, put on like nice scary movie on Netflix, have a glass
In the
of
bath?
wine. Yeah, so I put the.
What are you, a middle-aged white woman? What are
So
you?
that's
What's
the thing.
happening?
Is like all I knew is that middle-aged white women do this thing, right? And I was like, I want to know what the fuss is about. And then popped a bottle of red wine, got in the tub, got the bath bomb, right? Watched the movie. Great experience.
Are you clothed in the bathtub?
And then like the candles and everything, like it's like a very, I don't know, like I haven't done it in a couple years, but when I got into a phase of doing that for a little bit. Also, funny thing, I used to send my friends Snapchats like when I'm like, yo, back in the bathtub, there's like a reflective surface in the like at the other end of the tub, and you can definitely just see my full fucking naked body. yeah.
So you are fully naked in the tub.
Yeah, 100%.
You're not wearing clothes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my friend's like, bro, we can see that you're naked. I'm like, okay, it's too late. We're here now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, come on. Yeah,
What are
flex that shit, bro.
what are we
The
gonna
largest
do about
micro penis in North America, baby.
like, what are we gonna do about this?
Hey.
But dude, you gotta try it at least once. The pick whatever go to that place where they get the bath bombs. Get whatever flavor you like or whatever.
Flavor.
Pick a nice color. Some of them got like it looks like space. Pop the bottle of red wine. Watch a movie. Get freaky. Get weird. I don't know. Do your
Whoa.
thing. Yeah.
I think the last time I took a bath, I was like 8.
Okay.
It's been a
Yeah,
while.
I mean,
I've
like,
been
I-
out of the game for a minute.
I don't do it to clean myself. Like I'll shower first.
You'll shower first? Will you shower after too?
Yeah, because like the bath bombs they get stuff all over you.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Like I'm all glittery after.
Oh, you look like Kesha 2010, dude.
Yeah, Kesha's fire.
Do you think so?
Kesha's songs are all fire.
Oh, her
TikTok.
song. Okay.
TikTok on the clock.
Timber?
We're going down. I'm yelling timber. Shit is fire.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good. It's a good.
Holy man, holy.
What are we talking about?
I don't know, man. I feel like we gotta get another viral clip out there. People like when we talk about Canada.
Apparently,
What's going on in Canada nowadays? What do these two Canadian citizens want to talk
Canadian kids. We are Canadian kids. Well, did you hear about Carney and his little? He's about to call a snap election. They say this Sunday. Today is Friday.
Yeah.
So 2 days, assuming everything goes right, he's gonna call an election.
By the time this is out,
he would have already called.
yeah,
the
he would have
election.
already called it. So I saw this clip, and essentially, someone from the press says, "Hey, you're not the prime minister yet, and you recently flew to Europe on, and this is allegedly a $500,000 flight."
Whoa!
I don't know if this is true. This was definitely like a very loaded, like, I'm trying to attack, like I'm trying to back you into a corner type of question.
Of course.
And he so the especially the way the question was phrased, it was like, it's like you're not even the prime minister. You're taking this $500,000 flight to Europe. Do you plan on paying the Canadian citizens back because that was paid for with our tax money? Mm-hmm. And Carney's answer is like, blah blah blah, political, and he's just like, there's so many different avenues that we can take now that we need more, like, partners to trade with. We can go up north and there's these different routes, and, we need to go to Europe. And the guy was just like, so the answer is no, you're not going to pay us back. And he's like, no, that's the comprehensive answer to your question. And first of all,
hate that.
First of all, that's a loaded question regardless. So I get, like, there wasn't really a good answer to it. And I don't know, is it $500,000 for him to fly to Europe? That sounds a little far-fetched too. I don't think it genuinely costs that much. And then, but the answer too was like, he was asking you to justify the cost of that flight. And if the cost of that flight wasn't true, you could just say, well, that's not how much it costed. And I needed to go to Europe to find new trading partners. That's it.
Right?
That's it. But to dance around the question and then still kind of explain yourself, but kind of ignoring him is such like a fucking, like, you just look like a classic, like, politician. Like, and it's like, and most of the comments were like, Carney fucking destroyed him, like this and that. So it's like most people are fucking dummies anyways. So I guess it doesn't matter that he said it that way. But I'm thinking, like, if I was the guy, I was like, so you're justifying that flight by saying you need to, meet partners to trade with and everything. It's like, you couldn't fucking call them. That's what I would have said. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude,
Bro,
there's a lot of
text
technology.
messages exist,
Yeah, dude,
yo.
you guys are
Those
okay.
cost-
Pretend it's COVID. Zoom. Use Zoom. Get freaking France, fucking what I mean?
In the other corner.
Iceland over here. Be like, let's talk, dude. You send messages, mute yourself, play video games while you're
real, dude.
You know what I mean?
No, yeah, I hate that. I hate political answers. Bro. And I'm sure. Okay. Yeah, I'm not about to get on this thing right now, but yeah, Carney is.
Do your thing.
Huh?
Do your thing. Talk your shit, bro. Talk your shit, bro. We said all those fucking mean things about Jagmeet Singh last week.
We didn't say anything mean about Jagmeet Singh.
Yeah, that's true. No, we didn't.
Because he could beat the fuck out of us anytime
true.
he wanted
Facts.
to.
Love that guy.
No, 100% voted
Shout
for him
out
for
to
sure.
Uncle Jag.
Definitely not. But
I like him. Wouldn't vote NDP though.
no, wouldn't vote for Jagmeet Singh.
I like him, but I wouldn't vote for NDP.
Do you think the Canadian
I wouldn't
people,
vote for if he stood on, values that I believed in. I would vote for him.
What are values will you believe in?
We're not gonna get into this. Sorry, I interrupt you. I didn't mean to.
No, I just hate. I don't hate Carney, but I hate Carney. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like that. This guy is coming out of nowhere. He's been like a part of like the. He's been a part of the political elite his entire life, right?
Yeah.
He's like run like national banks. He's been part of those closed room conversations.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's not even pretending like he's not, but he's being like, I'm not a lifelong politician. Motherfucker, you are, dude.
Yeah.
You've been in those rooms. You've been a part of those conversations. You're in the text threads, right? Like, so why are you pretending like you're not?
Yeah.
Like, your whole thing is like, I'm not a politician. And do we really think he's like the most capable to battle against Trump and these tariffs?
No, man. And he looks like, if you were to like draw a politician, like a cartoon character of a politician, he looks exactly like what.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He looks like the freaking like extra that plays the president in like a shitty movie. You know what I mean? It's not even when you get like a main actor, like a A-list actor to play the president in a movie.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't like Harrison Ford. Like, this guy looks like, you know, president number 3. You know what I mean? That's what he looks like. You know what I mean? Like, come
No,
on.
I something about him. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that he's like assumed like power in the way he has.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just I'm not a fan of it. And if Canadians vote vote the Liberals for a 4th term, they deserve what they're getting.
Yeah, 100%. So this is,
wait, just let me get this
Go
one
ahead.
off because okay, the Liberals had all this time to get rid of the carbon tax, literally 3 terms to get rid of the carbon tax. Didn't do it. There's a whole other. I'm talking on my ass right now, but there's a whole other tax or something that they could have gotten rid of for all these 3 terms. Didn't get rid of it.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it looks like there's an election around the corner, so they start doing what people wanted to this whole time.
They realized they should have just been doing what people wanted.
You think you put a different face on the political party, people think it's different? It's the same people. It's the exact same people.
You know what's crazy? People do think it's different.
And that's why I'm saying,
you know what I mean?
If Canadians pick him pick the Liberals for a 4th term, they get what's coming to them.
No, 100%.
So, and like the thing is, do the Conservatives have all the answers? Probably not. But are they willing to like do things differently?
Yeah.
Then yeah. Like, NDP is going to do the exact same thing. Green Party hasn't done anything for the last however long they've been a party.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
But honestly, like the way it's kind of like formulated over the past couple of years, it's just like Green, NDP, Liberal practically all become the fucking same team anyway.
And the worst part about it is like the way Canadian politics is the way our elections are absolute shit really fucks us in the West, because they can call an election as soon as votes get counted in Ontario.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to pass Manitoba. They can call the election.
Right, yeah.
Because of our first past the post system.
Yeah.
So if Carney's popular enough in Ontario and Quebec, the rest of us don't have a single choice or option. And the thing is, Greater Vancouver has a larger population, is the 2nd largest population in all of Canada.
Yeah.
This isn't a small group of people we're talking about.
Yeah.
And listen, it's not like they're going to be voting super conservative. They'll probably vote NDP.
They sometimes independent gets a lot of votes in Vancouver. So that has to say something. That means something, you know what I mean?
The 2nd largest population center in Canada doesn't even vote for the ruling party. So what are we doing?
It doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Anyways, and that was a whole other Justin Trudeau bit. He was saying that he would get rid of the first past the post system. Never did.
It's so stupid. I don't think there's a form of electing government that really works anyways, right? The people who are, and they're going to sound like conspiracy theorists, but like the people who are going to win are going to win at the end of the day.
You think so?
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that, you know, the left or the right is like predetermined or anything like that, but the people who genuinely win out of an election always win. And that's usually, you know, some type of corporation.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what we do.
Yeah.
Because the people who can invest in it always get what they want.
Totally,
right?
totally.
It's like, it almost feels pointless. I genuinely didn't vote the last 2 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? It doesn't matter. It matters. The only thing that you affect is where you immediately live. So, you know what I mean? Yeah. If I live somewhere that's predominantly conservative, sure, I can go and vote if I'm conservative, but if I don't vote or I do vote, it's not going to change anything.
Yeah.
You know, we don't live in like very divided communities to that degree these days. You know what I mean? Like, where you live, I mean, maybe some like maybe Surrey would surprise me. You know what I mean? Even though
Surrey has a good cross section of like conservative, liberal, and NDPs.
So like Surrey would be a place, but it's like Maple Ridge, Mission. You know what I mean? Like those places are gonna be conservative. You don't really get a voice if you're not conservative. And then like, you know, a place like downtown, like the different Vancouver areas are strange. There's like Vancouver and West Vancouver and North Vancouver all vote differently, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And like I remember a couple years back, and I don't know if this happened the last 2 times as well, but you know, an independent party won in Vancouver. It's like that means something, but that doesn't affect anything.
Yeah.
You know, and not to say like something like the freaking PPC is something that is good or bad, but like that was something that I met a lot of people that they've strongly believed in it. No, and he was a very radical, right-leaning person, but there was no ability for that party to make any sort of difference.
Well, you know what? They did, though, because so PPC, in my honest opinion, is bad.
Yeah.
Because not even just because of their like beliefs and stuff.
Or, like radical.
It was
leaning.
because we had O'Leary or whatever. He was like the Conservative Party leader after Andrew Scheer, he was trying to like pander to liberals.
Oh, okay.
And like really get on like try to pull liberal votes over.
Yeah.
And in doing so, isolated a lot of conservative voters who were like, hey, no, I want to vote for like conservative like economic values or whatever the case
Right.
they were voting for. He isolated those people, and then all of a sudden this crazy Frenchman from Quebec who's like,
Guns.
guns and no more trans bathrooms.
Yeah.
Like he came out of nowhere and everyone's like, yeah, fucking that guy.
Yeah.
They pulled away just enough conservative votes
Yeah.
that conservative ridings lost to liberals.
Yeah.
Because the people didn't believe in conservatives fighting for like what conservatives usually fight for. So
Yeah.
it was a shame there, because I think they could have probably won that election if it wasn't for the PPC.
Yeah.
So a little bit of Canadian lore for you if you're watching outside of Canada, which obviously doesn't happen. 99% of our viewership comes from Canadians.
Yeah, man. That's crazy, dude.
Shout out Canada.
Yeah, we got a lot of local fans.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Anyways, vote in the next election. It's coming out probably around April 28th. Vote on your values and really look into the values of each of the parties, because, yeah, you like...
So let's
Look into the
build
history.
out like what's out of the different leaders that we have, who can compete with Trump?
Who can compete with Trump?
Yeah, who's gonna really have like Canada's best interest and actually have Canada come out not necessarily on top, but not dying at the end of this?
I don't think it's a political leader. I think Poilievre's wife put her on the phone with Trump. If you've met a Latino woman, you're not winning any argument with her.
All right, man.
So,
You said it.
yeah.
You said it.
Put her
So
on the
here's
phone.
what I think. Jagmeet Singh, he finally is like, okay, I'm sick of all this shit. I know that I look like a nice guy. I make little freaking TikToks and people, and I want to show people that I'm a really nice guy and I really care about them and I want them to have this like public housing and I want them to have this like education. And he's just like, fuck this. It's not working. My BFF Trudeau is gone and now I have no options. He's like, I'm tired of playing this game. I've got 3 houses. I'm rich. And I got my freaking pension. I'm going to vote, and I'm going to show you guys that I'm a part of this party that I actually believe in.
Oh, let's go.
And he goes, I'm a fucking conservative. And you know what? I want everyone in Canada to be rich. Fuck the taxes. I'm taking over this bitch. And he's a badass. You know what I mean? And he's like fucking going, he's like, oh, fucking fuck Trump. First of all, I want to fight Trump. Remember you said Trudeau versus Trump? No, dude, fuck a tariff. Fuck a tariff. I don't even know how to fucking say it. And he's like, whoever wins this fight, me and Trump, they're the ones who get out on top. You know what I mean?
I like that. He goes to Poilievre's office, kicks that motherfucker down on all fours, bitch.
Yeah.
Poilievre doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Gets down on all fours.
Poilievre tries to do a little double leg takedown. Fucking Jagmeet fucking sprawls, puts him in a guillotine.
I don't think he even
wraps
does
around
that.
him.
I think he
Yeah.
speed dials his wife like, hey, babe, I'm going to be late for dinner tonight. And then bends down, gag in his mouth, ready to go. I think that happens.
It's a little much.
Wait, why?
All right.
Did I give
These are 2 potential guests that we can have on podcast, dude. You have to explain that to Poilievre after.
what do
Actually,
you want me to do?
after you said his wife is after you said that his wife is argumentative, I don't think you'll ever be a guest on the pod anymore, dude. Good job,
No,
Krishan.
I didn't say that. I said she was a strong-willed woman.
All right,
She's a strong-willed woman. I
I
believe
got your
that.
back. I'll support that. That's what you said. The fuck? No, man. Fuck politics, dude.
Dude, politics. That's the thing. You can say fuck politics, but politics will fuck with you, dude.
It's been fucking with me, dude. I live in Canada.
Dude, the taxes
You know
is
what I mean?
too goddamn high.
Yeah, man. I don't know. COVID like could really have made people go like one of 2 ways. I've either seen people come out really like high after COVID. Economically, I feel like people like found a lot of financial success during COVID. Then I found people that were like financial turmoil after COVID. It was like one of 2 ways.
Well, most people found financial turmoil.
Yeah. So I feel like that definitely like caused like a big shift. But we'll see how things go. I think culturally things are kind of changing. I think economically people are kind of realizing, that the system we've had for a while has not worked. So there needs to be something that changes. I think that Carney, that you said, like the liberals are taking advantage of that feeling.
Totally.
And they're gonna make people believe that that's what they're gonna do, and then they're just gonna change it back anyway.
You can put lipstick on a pig; it's the same pig afterwards.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing for people is they realize their government is not in it for the best interest.
Yeah.
Right. Like I think I don't think it's like a controversial thing to say that the Wuhan lab is what kind of leaked the virus. Is not controversial to say because a lot of people have been bringing it up. It's like in main discourse and everything now, and I think it's the predominant theory at this point.
Yeah,
that's what happened, and it would justify then the response that all governments around the world did.
Yeah.
Is, hey, we don't know what the fuck this thing is, and we don't know what it's gonna do to population centers.
Right.
So let's shut it down.
Yeah.
And try to contain it, right? Which is in a situation where you have a dangerous virus. That's definitely what you want to do. Hey, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how many people this could kill.
Yeah.
But then I just think you come out and say that hey, we don't know what this thing is. It could be really, really bad.
Yeah.
So let's take the precautions. Let's do what we need to do. Instead, the first week they're saying don't wear masks. Masks aren't helpful. The second week they're saying wear masks. They're really helpful. We just didn't want you to wear them because the nurses needed them. And it's just all this weird psyop shit that really fucked with people. But all that to say, it really messed with people's belief in the government.
Yeah.
My fiance trusted the government, now doesn't care what any of them have to say.
Well, if you're around
What are you saying?
You're like a conservative plague. You're like
infesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't trust anybody other than the people who are close to me to think of my best interest.
Right. No, but
some guy in Ottawa does not think of my best interest.
And I think
right?
that, but even in saying that is a very conservative value.
I think most people believe that, though, because, I mean, a traditional liberal isn't somebody who wants to give power to the government. A traditional liberal is the person who doesn't want capitalism to run amok and who wants, a safety net to be there for people.
Yeah, most people don't want to be taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And I feel like power is just, I think positions of power and authority, it just aligns completely with taking advantage of other people. And it's a very predatory concept. So it's just you can't separate the two things.
Yeah.
I think that you will be taken advantage of in some way. You'll be oppressed in some way, which side you lean on. Some people will say if you vote conservative, you're oppressed by the corporations. If some say you vote liberal or left, you're oppressed by the government.
Yeah.
So there's really no success.
But
fuck, my leg's cramping. Continue.
That was hot.
Yeah.
No, but I understand what you're saying. But I think there's a difference, though. I think there's one side of the government that saw people protesting, which was the trucker convoy. People saw, regardless of whether you think they're far-right nationalists or what, but someone was protesting, and their solution to that was, let's financially destroy these people so that they can't protest.
Yeah.
Imagine if the government went around doing that stuff to the Palestinian protesters.
Right.
Insanity.
Yeah.
I would be standing there being like, yo, what are you doing? These people are protesting peacefully.
Yeah.
What's your issue?
Yeah.
Why are you stopping them?
Yeah.
And then, that's my whole thing is there's one side of the government that's will let people protest. The other side of the government solution to that was financially destroy them. Let's send some people to jail.
Yeah.
Which the people who stops the movement of traffic, sure, take those guys to jail, but majority of those protesters were not doing that. So
yeah, you ever see those videos of when people are sitting on the ground and cars just start keep moving anyways?
Oh, that's my favorite. That's my
when
favorite.
They're all sitting on the ground and they're like, no, you can't. And people are just I'm trying to get to fucking work. All right,
bro.
I'm not even against whatever you're fucking protesting for. To be honest, I don't even know what it is, and I just gotta go to work. What the fuck?
100%. My favorite is the Stop Oil people wearing cotton shirts and glasses, which has petroleum products in them, and then like they put cement on their hands so they're stuck to the ground.
That's a thing? I've not
Did
seen
you see
that.
that?
No, I haven't seen that.
Bro, so some Stop Oil people put some cement over their hands, stuck to the ground. They had to jackhammer their hands out, and when they're getting taken away, they're like, yeah, we have to amputate your hand. They're like, what? You can't
This is a real thing that happened?
Yeah. They had to amputate motherfuckers' hands off because they like bonded themselves to the fucking road.
Is this an adult, like
An adult person did this. Multiple adults.
like goes to work?
I don't know what professional protesters do in their free time.
Right. Professional protesters is a crazy.
I'm assuming they don't go to work.
Crazy term. Professional protesters.
The only people protesting oil are professional protesters.
All right.
I'll make that claim.
All right, dude. That's crazy.
We use petroleum products in so much shit. You can't not know,
dude,
how much stuff we use petroleum in.
I'm all for people, you know what I mean? Like, if you really believe in something, you totally have every right to protest about it and stuff.
100%.
But if some funny shit happens to you, I have a right to laugh at
Yeah,
that.
100%,
bro.
bro.
You know what I mean?
Imagine that conversation. Like, you can't just put baby oil on this and I'll slip right out. Like, dude, Diddy's not saving you here.
Yeah. There's this guy
Yep.
on, I see him on TikTok, and he likes to take videos. You know those like auditors? You know those people that like to like audit the police?
Oh yeah, this fucking nerds.
Okay, relax. You know, I don't want no smoke. And so we have one. We have a local one in Vancouver. There's this guy. I won't say his name or whatever, but he likes to
Now talk your shit, bro.
he likes to take videos of like the transit police. And I don't. Why is it funny? Because the fact that we have police for transit is that funny? So, and not even transit police.
The transit police is insane, bro. What the fuck?
So,
how much free time do you have?
So a lot of his videos, the caption is, and it's not even transit police; it'll be transit security, or just like the customer service people for transit. Like it'll just be like transit police ticketing international students during affordability crisis. I'm like, all right, bro. Do you know that that's exactly what's taking place? Because sometimes it's just people standing around. I know they're just minding their own business. Like this guy's, and he seems to always be everywhere. The freaking transit police and transit security are. This guy's everywhere except at work. You know what I mean? Like,
did this guy have a job?
I don't think so. I don't think this guy's employed. I think this is what he does for work. And he's got some famous, TikToks, local. He's got some views. Yeah, he's got some views. And all he does is just harass like transit employees all day. Like that's wakes up, gets on the bus, uses their services, and then harasses them all day.
I would like to say transit is way too expensive.
No, 100%. 100%. I think that he has a good like idea, but the way he goes about it is annoying as fuck. I don't know. Like it's just kind of.
Do you know that the $173 ticket you give people, they're usually low income?
Is that your impression of him?
I don't know what he sounds like really. But
yeah,
I've watched a few of his videos. He seems like a little bit of a nerd.
Yeah, he seems like a nice kid. He seems like he cares about like a particular topic.
Do you think so?
But he doesn't know how to.
Do you think that's what it is?
I think just kind of harasses people. The other thing I've seen though is I think that he's kind of a creep. One of his videos, he was just straight up filming like a transit police officer's ass. And he was just like, oh, why are transit police officers wearing Lululemons? I'm like, that's not I don't understand where
Was it fat though?
Like, what was the topic that you're going for? Like, what was the,
Was it juicy
What
though?
was the, what's the word for it? What was the righteous belief that you had posting this? Like, how does it relate to injustice? And I'm like, he's just filming someone's butt and being a fucking creep. And I was like, now it just discredits everything else that you're fucking doing, you weirdo.
The righteousness in that is catching in 4K some quality badonkadonk. That's what that is.
That's creepy. There. And I'm going to stop you right there.
I'm not saying I do it.
Yeah.
But he did it.
Yeah, and he's creepy for it. Filming ass is creepy.
What if he was insecure about ass because the transit police had a bigger ass than him.
Still, that's why is he filming that? You know, what I mean?
Yeah, I guess so.
He's a creep. He's a weirdo.
I've
I
seen
just
some
want
of his
to
videos.
preface that I am not calling him a weirdo because of any sort of condition he might.
Yeah,
have.
he's gonna follow you with a camera, dude.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not a fucking transit employee, so
You
probably
look
never
like a
probably gonna leave
transit
me alone.
employee.
Facts. Yeah, I do look like a transit employee. No, man, I applied. They didn't take me. It's all good. They're like, your last name is Matthew? Get out of here.
Did you? Would you ever snitch on somebody for not paying for, like, transit?
No, but I also wouldn't film the freaking transit security for giving them tickets or whatever the fuck they do. You know what I mean? I don't even think transit security does that.
I don't know what transit security does, to be honest.
So they're like almost like first responders. So like, you know, because transit police are so busy with whatever they're doing.
Securing transit.
Dude, these guys are pretty nice, so I don't really have a good defense right now. I don't know why there's also transit security. Like,
No, it's insane.
transit police is so busy, they need the transit security.
Transit security doesn't do nothing either. They just watch people run away
No,
from the
I've got some friends that do transit security,
Oh,
and
really?
they got some cool stories.
Like, where they did something?
Yeah, where they're just busy all night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're busy
Wow.
all night. There's a lot of like different incidents that take place
All
on
day, all
transit.
night, or just all night?
All day, all night.
What is it about night that makes the deviants come out?
You can't see me if I get away. You know,
That's racial.
I'm not under a street light. No, even a lighter skinned person, if it's nighttime outside and there's no lights, it's hard to see them.
Where are you taking transit that it's dark past the terminal?
Bro, the lights don't work anywhere in Vancouver. It's Vancouver. We pay taxes and they go fucking, I don't know.
That's a good point. We should.
You
get
know,
to
they don't
bottom
fix the
of that.
lights there, bro.
We are the Vancouver's best journalists, so we should get to the bottom of that.
Yeah,
But
honestly, I feel like what I just said was an extremely valid point. I
No,
don't take public transit anymore. I haven't taken it in years, to be honest with you.
fucking elitist piece of shit.
No, I just don't like going anywhere further than where I live.
I don't like the fact that we pay this much in taxes and transit still smells like piss.
You
know
and
what
your
I'm saying?
fucking SkyTrain aromas. Do
Dude,
you know what I mean?
The SkyTrain is a colorful place. And I don't mean just the people taking it. Like,
Because it's not colorful. It's brown.
well, it depends. I take the Millennium line a lot. Lots of different colors there. Predominantly Asian.
Because it connects with Richmond?
Coquitlam. That was
Coquitlam.
crazy. Yeah.
I was just asking a question. I didn't know where it connects.
Coquitlam has a very good cross section of Asian and whites.
Dude, Coquitlam's got some fire Korean barbecue restaurants.
Yeah.
Some straight heat.
Would you be upset if they had a Korean barbecue and it was like a Japanese person running it?
No, because most sushi restaurants in Surrey are run by Koreans.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's true.
No way.
By Christian Koreans. It's not even open on Sundays.
Wow.
Yeah, Christian Koreans are running the sushi restaurants
Do you
in
think
Surrey.
their belief in God makes their sushi better than Japanese sushi?
I've never had Japanese sushi. I mean, maybe I have. I don't know if it's Korean or Japanese running every restaurant I've ate sushi at.
Whoa. Do you think this is a lie? Because I would not be happy if I found out like
You're right.
Rakesh in the back of an Indian restaurant was a white guy. I would be
But
upset.
that's not. Let's be real here. Korean and Japanese is not like white and brown.
Wait, what are you saying?
Come on, what are we talking about? You know, like if you told me, you know, if I was at an Indian restaurant and you were in the back, you know what I mean? It's still probably good.
So you're telling me if I lined up 3 Koreans and 3 Asians and lined them up, you
What did you
couldn't tell them
say?
different?
3 Koreans and 3 Asians.
Oh shit! Oh, you got me there, bro.
All I'm saying is if I went to a Japanese restaurant and you told me a Korean guy was running it, I'd probably be like, it's okay. It's fine. And if I went to an Indian restaurant and you told me a Sri Lankan guy was cooking the food, I'd be like, it's okay. It's okay.
Would you really?
Yeah, now if I went to, you know...
So wait. This is my question.
Yes, sir.
If we're okay with Koreans running Japanese restaurants and Sri Lankans running Indian restaurants, why are we okay with Indians running white restaurants?
Why, are we okay with it?
Yeah. Because Tim Hortons, not a single white there.
I would say that certain components of life can be expanded on. You know, they can be they can evolve, right? So if you take a white food and you add some flavor to it, no one's complaining. Am I right? Am I right?
I agree.
Dude, Korean Japanese, lateral move. I just want to point out that I'm talking about food.
The history of Korea and Japan
I just
never would let you let that down.
I just hope that the audio was clear on that. I'm talking about local sushi restaurants. Dude, Sri Lanka, India, lateral.
Definitely not. Sri Lankan food, much better.
All right, man.
You know why? Because a Sri Lankan person never smelled bad anywhere they went. For a fact.
Roll the clip.
Thing is, I
said this to you
probably
last pod.
didn't do you a favor because I was a smelly little brown kid.
You were, bro.
No. It was a problem because our youth leader had to sit me down and be like, bro, you're going through puberty. You need to start wearing some deodorant. Like, that was a conversation I had with somebody. That was puberty. That wasn't food smell.
Yeah, man. I don't even remember what we were talking about. Yeah, so did you know that I've actually, and I don't know if this is racist, I've met countless people who have told me that they know of other people. I won't say this is them directly. I've met people who know other people who have allegedly committed insurance fraud.
Yeah.
By driving their cars in Richmond to get into accidents that are not their fault, and so that they could write off their cars.
You're telling me if you drive your car in Richmond long enough, you are guaranteed an accident?
I'm saying
get the fuck out of here.
That the dark figure, the crime statistic that isn't reported for hit and runs in Richmond, or maybe it is reported, right? Because they're still making the claims. I'm just saying that I have heard allegedly from people that have heard it allegedly from other people that they have driven their cars in Richmond when they're at a point where they're like, I want to write off my car.
So you're telling me that Asian people in Escalades can't figure out where the road is?
They're not driving Escalades, first of all, and I feel like that's an ignorant point. They're usually driving German cars.
German cars?
Yeah, Asian people like driving German cars.
Why is that?
Because they're expensive.
Like Mercedes?
Yeah, and
like
BMW... Audi? Is it Audi or Audi?
I don't know.
This could be a viral clip. You better argue with me about it. What do you say?
I think it's Audi.
I say Audi.
Why do you say Audi?
Because I just feel like that's what Hitler.
I think the Germans were very clear when they put an A
Audi.
and a U and
Audi.
a D and I.
Audi. Like
Audi.
Do Audi in a German accent.
Aldi.
Use it in a sentence?
I would like to drive your Aldi.
Honestly, I agree with you now.
Yeah, I'm right about it. It
sounded correct. That was a good German accent.
I do a great German accent.
I took German in university.
Did you really?
Yeah.
So you could say hail in a lot of different ways?
We didn't actually learn that word.
Really?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I don't know if you said it correctly.
It's the same word. It's literally the same word
like,
in English as it is
there's a lot of
German.
English words that derive from German words. I know it's a more commonly held belief that English derives from Latin languages, but it's a combination of varying languages, and it's a lot of German derivatives. The German word for bread is Brot. It's not that many letters off. It's 2 letters difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, man. So should we do chocolate therapy first, or should I get into the spooky stories first?
Let's get into chocolate therapy.
Yeah, let's help some people with their problems, man.
Yeah, we're
getting kind of deep into this podcast right now.
We had a few chocolate cowboys come out and give us some submissions in the chocolate therapy group.
Yeah, is that what we're calling our listeners right now? You just call them chocolate cowboys.
We're chocolate cowboys. They're chocolate cowboys. Anyone can be a chocolate cowboy, really.
Should we pull this up on our phones, or are you going to pull this up? Oh, I'll pull it up.
Yeah, you pull it up because I can't read well. Actually, let me have one.
Yeah, there's one that's just one line.
Yeah, I'll do that one.
Well, we can decide. Are we going to read them all?
No,
or are we
let's
just
pick
going
two.
to pick a couple? So I would say, fuck it. Let's just do all 4.
Okay.
This is our first time. Let's just do start to bottom.
Yeah, okay.
The bottom one.
Okay, so
we don't even need to read the bottom one, to be honest.
Yeah.
Let's just do the 3.
Yeah, okay.
So.
Can I?
Okay. I'll read number 1, or do you want to read number 1?
You go with number 1.
Okay. So. This is an anonymous user, but I kind of have a feeling that I know who this is. I played one of those couples card games with my girlfriend recently. I got a draw card, and it said to handstand, twerk on the wall, or take a drink. I was already several drinks deep, and it was just us. So I said, you know what? Fuck it. Wall twerk.
Wow.
The mood kind of shifted after that, and my girlfriend's been distant ever since. What should I do?
Okay, dissecting the situation as a therapist. No, not as a therapist, as me. I would say your girlfriend's jealous of all that ass you got, because there's no reason for her to be distant unless that shit was good.
Yeah, so I've got a friend, Fijian.
Big old booty on him.
Yeah, and this might be him. I don't know if it's him or not. But
he submitted it on him anonymously. Now everybody knows who this big booty Fijian guy is.
yeah, but if you've seen him, you know what I mean.
Kinda
That's
thick.
the only thing you remember about him.
Oh shit!
Yeah. So
is it a shelf?
yeah.
Let's go, son.
So he loves to twerk,
He does.
and he's real confident about
He's
it.
a real good twerker.
Yeah, he could twerk.
Like he'll bust it down to Anaconda.
100%. Right now, if I FaceTimed him right now, guarantee his legs are up on a wall.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's got a lot of confidence about it, and he gets girls. So I think that this user should double down.
Yeah.
Double down. Wall twerk everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Wall twerk at school, at work, wherever you like to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Wall twerk.
Because the wall twerk is like really a you're showing your like it's a form of like not aggression, but like you're showing people you are the alpha.
Yeah, it's almost like a mating ritual. It's like if
Yeah.
you're wall twerking, all the other men in the area are like, "Whoa, this guy's ready to mate."
Yo, for real. Like
You know
if
what I mean?
you can,
Like the pheromones are crazy. Like I'm gonna back off. You
not
know
a
what
lot
I
of
mean?
people can make it jiggle regular, like vertical, horizontal ways.
Yeah.
If you're upside down on a wall, that's a whole level
Yeah.
of ass that not a lot of people got.
100%, man. And if the energy is shifted between you and your girl because of it, just remember, dude, if you're out there wall twerking on the regular 24/7, there's plenty of fish in the sea.
Yeah, bro, you are the prize. Don't let your girl, disrespect you like that.
Yeah, we need to value men with ass a little bit more.
Bro, I do.
Truthfully.
I think girls like a man with ass.
I do think girls like a man with ass, and I feel like maybe she's concerned that you are wall twerking around other people now too. If you're so good at doing it by yourself, so maybe I'll retract my previous statement. Have a conversation with her about it. If she thinks that you're wall twerking, for any reason such as it's grossing her out or she thinks it's gay, then just wall twerk everywhere. If she tells you, if you give her the opportunity to communicate with you, and she says, "Hey, I'm just worried that other girls are going to see you do this. I want it all to myself," then you're good. You're in the clear.
But like if you got that much ass walking around like a guy, Mr. Milkchick style, I don't know if there's any saving it, bro. Like,
is it
the
bad that I licked
girls-
my lips when you said
Yeah,
Mr.
that was
Milkchick?
insane.
That was crazy.
That was insane.
I apologize.
Yeah, but no, I'm feeling like I should lick my lips a little bit too because I'm thinking about that and it's juicy, dude.
Yeah, so my buddy looks just like him.
Really?
Yeah.
Why have you not introduced me?
I got to gatekeep my big booty friends, you know what I mean?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I see how it
I got to
is.
keep them to myself.
All right. Well, to our user that's got a big old dumper on him, wall twerking, do your thing, bro. If your girl's got a problem with it, have a conversation. If she's really insecure about it, she might not be able to handle all that ass.
Yeah, just know that Gershon can handle all that ass.
Yes, sir.
And he's available.
Come here, my boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so gay so fast, dude.
All right, number 2. I was at a get together recently and saw all my friends' packages. If you know what I mean, don't ask. I know what you mean, son. We were all drunk, but I'm pretty sure I was the smallest, and it made me a little insecure. I can't stop thinking about it, about how I'm smaller, not their packages. Wow, that's heavy. What do you have to say about this?
You guys work at Amazon? You guys all...
I think he's
I feel like
talking
they give
about-
them the same size truck. So like when you're taking your shipments, it
think-
doesn't really matter because you guys probably all get the same hourly wage. So it doesn't matter if your package is smaller than their packages.
I don't think that's what he's
And
talking
I feel like
about,
it's
bro.
easier to transport multiple
Bro.
small packages than it is to transport like one big package. And so like maybe you're not valuing the things that your package offers, right? Like you can take a few more with you and you can get all the different apartments that you go to quicker.
What are we talking about? I don't think you're getting what I think we're talking about. Penile length here, not Amazon packages.
He said his package is smaller than his friend's packages, and he's talking about
Yeah, they
all
were
work
seeing
at-
their Johnsons. They were
What do-
seeing their ding dongs,
What do you mean?
their wieners, their dicks.
What do you mean by that?
I think they were having a little bit of white boy fun, and they all saw their penises together.
You're telling me there's an event that takes place with just like a bunch of different guys that are all friends with each other, and they all just show each other their dicks?
He said he was at a get together recently, and he saw all his friends.
Dude, what's the address? So I make sure not to go there.
Okay,
All right, next one.
brother.
next one. I'll
If
read
you're
this
small, you're small, bro. Find a girl with a.
one. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna cut that clip out. Right
Why?
there. That was a little disgusting.
That's not disgusting.
Dude, I want you to just think like your fiance sitting in front of you when you say some of those things, and just think about how she reacts.
We'll say that to her.
All right, this one's sad, dude.
It is okay. You go. You read it.
Like, I feel like this person just like made this up anyways. So we'll just go with those two. Fuck it, whatever. You want to talk about the package?
What package?
All
The
right.
guy's dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, small dicks are. They gotta be loved, dude.
Dude, I think that if you're with the boys and y'all are just showing each other your dicks, maybe there's some other questions about your life you need to answer.
Yeah, probably.
Rather than
Have you seen your friends' penises?
not willingly.
You've never done a little urinal, like ooh, like a little look to the. See what your
No,
homie's
but
working
I
with?
have a friend whose name rhymes with Mershon. And
Wait a minute.
after like 2-3 drinks, if we're outside, if we're indoors, safe. If we're outdoors and he needs to go pee, he just pees.
Wait, so
doesn't
you're
matter.
saying you know Brad Marchand, dude?
Who's that? Is that an athlete or something? I don't watch sports.
He was on the Boston Bruins, now on the Florida Panthers, dog.
I don't.
No?
Oh, is he the
Marchand.
the rat guy?
Yeah.
Oh, the rat guy.
The Rat King, bro. Come on.
That's hilarious.
Anyways,
Should we get spooky?
let's get a little spooky.
Let's get spooky.
Let's get spooky, bro.
Yeah. So I think you guys have noticed in the last episode that the lights kind of changed because that's when we like to get into scary story time.
Yeah.
So it's not always scary. Sometimes we talk about conspiracies. Last time we talked about time travelers, that kind of thing. So I got two things for you, both Canadian.
Canada.
First is a UFO story.
Oh my God.
Second is something a little bit more spooky, ghost related,
Ooh.
and that's super local.
Satanas.
Yeah. So have you heard of the Shag Harbor UFO event?
I don't even know where that is.
So this took place in, I believe, in Quebec or Nova Scotia.
Quebecois?
One of the two places. Can't
Nova
remember.
Scotia?
So the Shag Harbor UFO incident takes place like this. On October 4th, 1976, multiple witnesses reported seeing bright lights in the sky that then disappeared into the ocean. At the time, witnesses suspected a plane crash, but nothing was ever found.
Whoa.
And to this day, it remains one of Canada's well-documented UFO events. So this is pretty much what happened, is a bunch of people saw a bunch of lights, and they didn't know what was going on, and people started to panic. And because people thought it was a plane crash, emergency responders went. And they went into the Shag Harbor, and they dove in.
They dove.
Yeah, and they were looking for
Swimming.
wreckage, found nothing.
Whoa.
The only thing that indicated anything took place, yellow foam going across the top of the water.
Get out of here.
Isn't that creepy?
What do you think? Before you tell me what it was, what would you do in that
I actually
situation?
decided not to research more.
Thank God. Thank God. I want to live in a fantasy world where aliens are real and this place where shag carpets is really popular had aliens. I want to live in that world. Whatever the fuck world you were trying to take me into, explaining this shit out to me. Tell me more about these aliens. How many people did they probe?
So I think it was in Nova Scotia, but essentially, what had taken place was people. There really isn't an answer. They just thought it was a plane crash, and they just couldn't find anything to indicate it. But everybody
Yeah.
at the time locally saw something.
Okay.
So do you think, and this is in time in the 60s, so there's a lot of all over North America UFO sightings taking place. Now there's two things that could have happened. Technology wasn't there yet, and there was a lot of, aerospace, events that took place, a lot of like technological advancements that they were trying to create. And so if you see different aircrafts that were being invented or tested or whatever, and that's just what people were seeing. So there's a likelihood that that's what's going on, and because people were not used to seeing this so much, or these advancements in technology, they just kept reporting it as UFOs, and that really essentially is what a UFO is, right? It's an unidentified flying object.
Yeah.
The other explanation is the aliens tried to visit around that time, and everyone was fucking seeing them, and they were interacting with them, and the governments just gaslit everybody at the time.
I think that's what it is, because I do think, like, because I think in the 50s and 60s and 70s, we saw a lot of alien sightings, right? There's lots of sightings. People were everywhere, like, viewing. And the thing is, we don't have specific areas in history where other people have been like, oh, the 1300s, there was a lot of alien sightings or this and that, right?
Yeah.
I think what happened, have you heard of the stoned ape theory?
No.
Okay, so the stoned ape theory is that during human evolution, there's a period in time where our brains grew like 90% or something like that. And their theory to why that happened is because we found psychedelic drugs.
Yeah.
And like an ape version of the human started consuming these things.
Right.
And then that awakened the ability to have deeper thought.
Right.
Rather than just having food, like, right?
Yeah.
So now we're at an elevated point of like cranial capacity.
Consciousness, yeah.
That's what I meant, but I said something different. So now, in the 50s and 60s, what are we testing out? LSD.
Right.
All of a sudden, now we're starting to open different pathways in our brain where we might get to that next level of cranial consciousness.
Why do you keep saying cranial?
Bro, because it makes me sound smart, right?
All right, cool.
You believe it more because I said cranial.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden, the aliens start coming. They start saying, oh, man, we got to check on these guys. They might be getting close to us.
So you're telling me that the more psychedelic drugs people took, the more extraterrestrial beings started becoming curious about us and our advancements, and started being like, whoa, the humans they're advancing too much, too rapidly. Dude. We need to fucking scare the shit out of them by fucking flying around a little bit and doing a couple dances.
No, I think they were coming to like see what was happening, because I think the next stage of advancement is when we start going, sexuality doesn't matter, gender doesn't matter, race doesn't matter, we're humans. And that level of consciousness is where we start working together. That level of consciousness is when we can like stop being afraid of nuclear power. Like,
right.
That's when we start like moving as a whole, as a species on planet Earth.
Yeah.
And then we become an intergalactic species. You don't understand what I'm saying? Right now, we're a bunch of apes walking around the Earth, right? Not having polyamorous relationships. Once we ascend past this like point of brain function, then we'll be like ready for the next form of human civilization.
Do you take psychedelic drugs?
Not yet, bro, but I can't wait till I do.
Dude, I don't think you should. I don't.
Wait, why?
You already sound like someone who has. What's gonna happen if you do, dude? You're gonna turn into one of them aliens, bro. That's crazy. You sound weird. You sound cuckoo, bro. You sound
what are you talking about?
You sound like.
I don't need psychedelics to probe your booty hole.
You sound like. I don't want to sound disrespectful.
No sound disrespectful.
You sound like a crackhead, like a homeless crackhead.
I think crack is too dirty to get you to that plane of existence.
I don't know. I've heard some people on the street saying some stuff like that.
Yeah, but that's insanity. What I just said made a lot of sense. Why did we?
Honestly,
why do we not see aliens anymore?
Dude, everything you said made sense to me.
Yeah, exactly. Why do we not see aliens anymore? LSD became a Schedule 1 drug. No one's allowed to take it anymore. People aren't experimenting with it. Why do you think cars in the 50s were so cool? Because everybody was on LSD.
You know, not to play devil's advocate here.
Because why would you want to play with the devil? But okay.
All right.
Hit me with it.
But I've met people who've done LSD.
Yeah?
And those people are just unemployed.
Yeah.
So Where's this higher level of consciousness that you're talking about?
Maybe we can't understand them, dude.
They're just at Wreck Beach, just being naked with their families. You know what I mean?
With
I
their
don't.
families.
I don't. Have you been to Wreck Beach?
I have not, no.
I don't want to judge people that go there. Like, you know, that's your values in your system and everything like that. That's what you like to do. My friends dragged me there one day, and I will say they dragged me there because I did not want to go there. I will not ever admit to wanting to go to a place like that because I did it. And all power to you. If you like doing that, go ahead.
Great penises or no?
No, it was weird because it wasn't just naked adults there.
What?
Yeah, there were straight up naked families, like with kids
Whoa.
there too. And I'm like, this wouldn't be okay in another setting, right? Like, I feel like it should just be adults that are doing. Like, it should be an adult decision, right?
Tell me,
And
OVO was there?
And I don't know if like I probably offending like nudist people that I guess are a people group.
Can you offend a group of people whose ideology is to get naked in front of other people?
I don't know, but I feel like they're probably. I feel like people who like frequenting Wreck Beach are probably gonna be offended by that. Been there once because my friends were like, "No, it's just better because it's like the ocean. It's like it's totally different."
I have heard Wreck Beach is the best beach, like sand ocean wise.
And I'm like, sure, and they convinced you. They're like, no, but there's like a half of the beach where like everyone's clothed. That's a lie.
There's no part of it where they're clothed.
No, my friends are disgusting.
Great bodies though. No great bodies.
No, but I'm also not creeping on everybody. There was some. There were some individuals from.
Say it.
India that were definitely just there recording all the naked people.
Come on, bruh. Come on. Why you got to do it to all of us? Because they put us in the same boat too.
But it's true, man. That was going on. There was two horrible things taking place. One, people that were there naked with their children who were also naked.
That's
and
insane.
the other creepy thing, and the other disgusting thing I was saying were creepy Indian students just walking around the beach recording Indian people, or naked people, I should say.
A lot of Indian nakeds?
No, they were clothed recording naked people.
I think, okay, can you record if you're also naked?
I don't know. I feel like recording there would be a weird thing to do.
That is a weird thing to do.
I wouldn't. I never even took my fucking phone out there. That was just
Really?
like I didn't want anyone to think that I could have been fucking recording or anything like
You
that.
didn't check Instagram
especially
once.
because I'm clothed, right?
Yeah.
So I'm there clothed, trying to find this alleged place where other people are also clothed. Doesn't exist.
Would you strip down and
Hell no.
partake in the activities?
Hell no. Never in a million years. My friends are just manipulative fucking scumbags.
Do you think
and
it's
they convinced me that there was going to be a whole other area of this beach where there's clothes.
Yeah, I get it. Do you think it's because you're shy about your penile?
I just think it's not meant to be outside.
You don't think so?
No.
Then why did God put it outside of your body? Females, all inside.
But he also gave us the ability to make clothes.
What?
God gave us the ability to make clothes.
No, he didn't. We did that ourselves.
He gave us that ability to have free will to make clothes.
No.
And what do we
didn't.
choose to do? Make clothes.
Okay, you obviously haven't read the Bible enough because we were not supposed to be clothed. We were completely naked in the beginning.
That's if you believe the Bible.
And you don't?
No.
Wow. Okay, guys. Well,
That's
we
the
just
last
found out
episode of the podcast.
Yeah. I thought this was a Christian podcast, dude.
The amount of gay stuff that we said on this podcast. Yeah, anyways. Should we get to the next spooky story?
Yeah, let's get into that.
All right. So this one's another local one.
Ooh, Canada.
So
Where in?
I'm going to tell you right now.
British Columbia?
Yes. Have you heard of the Hope Slide?
Hope Slide.
Yes. So.
I have not. Well, I should know this, though.
All right. So on January 9th, 1965.
Oh, my God.
In
1965?
Yeah. So in January 9th, 1965,
Whoa.
in the Nicolum Valley near Hope,
Oh, okay.
resulted in the deaths of 4 people
Whoa.
and significant damage to Highway 3 due to a massive landslide. So,
Time out. Can I ask a question?
sure.
Did the landslide kill the people?
Yes.
Okay.
I can re-explain it to you if you want. Maybe I didn't explain it well. So essentially, the Hope Slide refers to a massive landslide that occurred on January 9th, 1965 in Nicolum Valley near Hope, British Columbia. It resulted in the deaths of 4 people and caused significant damage to Highway 3.
Okay, I've been here.
So people have passed there, and that's a place that people actually go now to explore. And in 1966, a Royal Canadian Air Force plane disappeared there.
Get out of here.
So I believe that crash site has now been discovered, but it's still a place that people go and hike, and they go and try to experience. So this is from Reddit user dfletch17 2 years ago, in this Reddit thread called, let's see, what are some local folklores, urban legends, or ghost stories?
Oh my God.
So this is a real account.
Wow.
And this is what dfletch17 had to say. He said, at the Hope Slide, there's a wreckage of a Royal Canadian Air Force airplane that crashed in 1966. My now wife and I hiked it up about 7 years ago. While on our return from the wreckage, I could have sworn I heard a girl or woman screaming in the distance. I couldn't see anything, and I didn't want to freak out my then girlfriend, so I decided not to mention it. It wasn't until we were back in our vehicle that I decided to mention it. Shockingly, my girlfriend had said that she also heard the same thing.
Get out of here.
But she didn't want to freak me out.
Whoa.
And we were the only ones in the car parking lot at the time that the hike began. So no one else was taking the hike with them at the time.
Holy shit.
And when they returned, they were still the only car there. So there shouldn't have been anybody else there at the time. And he doesn't typically believe in supernatural stuff, but something about it felt eerie. And that's the scary part, right? It's like you can't really describe the feeling when you're like, okay, something is off right now.
Yeah.
And years later, he mentions the story to a colleague, and he said that same place, he had the exact same experience. And then I checked, and a lot of people report hearing a woman screaming in the Hope Slide. And now it might be because of, might be a victim from the mudslide, or it could be something related to the airplane that crashed there. But allegedly, there's some type of supernatural event taking place there that's causing some entity to scream for help.
Did they recover the bodies from the slide?
You told me not to research further, so as soon as it got scary, I stopped. But so this is interesting because these stories about Wendigos and Skinwalkers, it's very similar. It's always like a woman screaming for help, and it's like all those rules of like, okay, well, you don't want to interact with Skinwalkers, you can't help them. You know what I mean? So is this real? Is this somebody that's genuinely, are people getting lost? Are they just maybe other hikers and they're getting lost? They're asking for help. You know what I mean? Maybe it's very common for people to go missing or lost in that area. Both answers to that question are terrifying.
Yeah, they just
it's either somebody missing, yeah,
out there. This is the crazy thing too. So many people go missing just regular, like walking home from school, walking home from work. Like regular people go missing all the fucking time. Yeah. So, like, who knows who else is out there, right?
Yeah, and imagine they were doing one of them Appalachian Mountains night hikes in the Hope Slide.
These were white people for sure, bro. I know that. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. That's no,
like, that is crazy.
First, there's a tragedy, so it's sad.
No,
and then,
it is
like,
super tragic.
And then, like, you're there, and, like, so you're aware that, something tragic took place here. That scared you.
Bro, fucking Ayla barked. I clutch my pearls, bro. Holy shit.
I don't know if it catches it in the audio, but there's some, people. It's a Friday night, so some people are outside my apartment.
Jesus Christ.
Making some noise, talking and yelling, and my dog's getting a little agitated. And it just happened to scare the shit out of Gershon.
Yeah, but, dude, I'm already scared of Ayla. Fucking now we're talking about scary stories, dude. Come on. No, that's a crazy story because I've been to the Hope Slide actually, like on the way, because they have a rest stop right there, and then they have a thing that says, "Hey, this is like this landslide happened," and you can see like massive amounts of rocks and stuff, right? So, and honestly, I did get a little bit of an eerie feeling there.
Yeah, and it's a weird. It's also the '60s. We talk about all these like lack of technology that happened because our technological advancements happened only in the last century. You know what I mean? We went from 0 to 100 real fast.
Very fast, yeah.
And so you're thinking 1965, man. Like, sure, it was reported that 4 people passed.
Who knows, man?
Who knows what the dark figure is?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's scary. So it's like, and if supernatural events are real, and people's, ghosts can really exist.
Do you believe that people's like spirit can stay on Earth?
I don't know. I feel like you asked me that last time, and I was just like, I don't really believe in ghosts because like I don't really have a supernatural encounter. Because for me, it's like if it's real, it better fucking show me that it's real. But then I'm not like. I don't really have like the power of suggestion doesn't really take over for me.
I guess so.
Which kind of sucks. I want it to be.
So you want to live in a world where ghosts exist?
Ghosts, aliens, fucking superpowers, all that shit.
Yeah,
that'd be way more exciting.
Dude, I was just thinking about it today. I'm like, my life is fucking boring, dude. I like go to work, I come back.
Should we harass like transit employees?
I think we should because I think our lives would be a lot more fun. On top of that, if we believe the transit police or transit workers are reptilian overlords, I think we could really amp this up.
Did you know that that's a racist conspiracy theory?
Stop making this not fun, dude.
So apparently that is an anti-Semitic theory because people say that like Jewish people rule the world, and they're like I hope I explained this properly, but apparently like it's like the way people exaggerate the way that Jewish people look and like their hatred towards them, so they're like these like ugly reptilian people are secretly controlling everything. So the whole reptiles lead the world thing is actually like an anti-Semitic conspiracy.
Can you get this guy the fuck out of here? Get out of.
I'm just saying that's what I've heard.
Dude, don't go to college. If you're watching this, don't go to college. They tell you that reptile overlords are Jews. What the hell?
They don't teach you that in college. That was in conversing with other people.
In college? Don't go to college.
That was like a couple months ago.
Go to trade school. Be cool.
You didn't go to trade school?
Yeah, but I worked in construction, and I was fun.
All right. This guy's like, I can build a house if I want. The consensus here is that Gershon can build a house if he really wanted.
No, okay. Reptilian overlords would be so much fun. It's so much better than Jews. Jews is boring. They're regular people. They have regular beliefs. Why would you want them to be your overlords? Wouldn't you want a fake group of reptilian humanoids to be the ones ruling you? Right? If Bill Clinton all of a sudden just came out with like one of those fork tongues, like fucking great, let's go. Right? No?
Which supernatural thing do you want to be real?
Yeah, okay, that's a good question.
I would say superpowers, obviously.
But that's not supernatural. It
is because it's
fantastical. That's different.
I think you're just putting terms on these things.
It's fantastical. It's not supernatural. I think the supernatural thing that I would want to
be paranormal is what you're probably thinking.
Supernatural and paranormal.
Supernatural is anything more than natural.
I think you're getting confused because it says super in the name.
No, I genuinely believe this. I think that is true. Like religious beliefs are supernatural beliefs. And then, ghosts and things that are not like, within the normal world are supernatural. So it's not a term that's directly only related to like fucking cryptozoology, dude.
I wanna believe that the world was like the Greeks said it was.
What did the Greeks say about the world?
Okay, so the Greeks believed that there's like different kinds of beings, that gods, like the gods of Olympus, made different kinds of beings. So
sick, gods of Olympus.
Oh, so cool. Sick. That would be so awesome.
Zeus,
right?
Sick.
He was kind of misogynist, but okay.
My bad, dude. I just thought about the lightning powers. All right, you don't have to throw this term at me, dude.
Dude, you've been making all of this so boring. There's one I have to make boring for you, okay?
It's not. I'm not making them boring. I'm just doing too much research, and then it turns out that
stop doing research. Stop trying to be smart. Have fun being dumb like me.
I actually had to mention we're like at like an hour 45, so we should probably wrap it up.
Okay. Yeah. Anyways. How are we gonna exit this?
I don't know, man. It's real tense right now.
It is.
No, dude, I love the spooky stories, man. That shit is fun.
The spooky stories are a lot of fun.
I like
and I like closing off the podcast that way.
Yeah,
it makes me feel tingly, and I feel like I need to go.
How do you deal with your tingles, Gershon? All right. You keep submitting stuff to the chocolate therapy form. If you guys don't want it to be anonymous, then leave like your name and we'll say it. And like if you guys are like a fan of the pod and you want a shout out, I kind of want to give like a special shout out to a fan every week.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun.
If you donate money,
whoa,
to me, I'll shout you out. Or if you show me your pee-pee.
Okay, I'll I'll shout you out for free, and you don't need to show me your PP or give me money. I'll just give you a shout out for being a fan. But yeah, man, I really appreciate people who listen to the whole episode. I doubt that there's a lot of you left by the end of this. But yeah, man, it's sick. And if you see one of our clips that are like kind of picking up steam and everything like that, if you could share it, that'd be super big help. Tell your friends to follow. If you get 5 friends to follow, you get a freaking shout out on the next pod. Yeah. Look at me. Just fucking
bribing people.
Yeah, that's terrible, dude. Everything's got to be a deal. Dude? Everything's got to be a deal with us.
What are you, a reptilian overlord? Get out of here.
All right. Wrap it up. Chocolate Cowboys.
Yeah.
See you next week. That was fun.
It's a Chocolate Cowboys podcast where the good times always last. So grab your white monster and watch them ponder. It's a Chocolate Cowboys podcast. A couple of buddies who think they're funny. Are they brothers? Or do they have feelings for each other? It's the Chocolate Cowboys podcast.